What's up, everybody? My name is J.A.M and welcome back to the Top 10 series. Now, the Top 10 series in J.A.M's Ringside Stories is where we do a top 10 of random wrestling stuff. And this episode is about the top 10 finishers in WWE history. Now, this is just my opinion, guys. I did not steal it from nobody. But here is my number 10. My number 10 favorite is the GTS by CM Punk. CM Punk is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and one of the best creators of a move that was widely known as being one of the most weirdest and one of the most coolest moves of all time, and one of the most dangerous. But I think it's a very devastating move because it took out a lot of people like The Rock, John Cena, but not The Undertaker. But that's my number 10. My number 9 is, well, guys might disagree with this, but the 3D. Now I know guys, two people in number 9, but I mean the 3D is, well, if you guys don't know what the 3D is Dudley Death Drop, which if you guys haven't seen the 3D by the Dudley Boys, it is awesome. But It took out a lot of people. It took out, the New Day. It took out, the Bray Wyatt family. I mean, it took out a lot of people. But one specific memory from ECW, they did that on one person, and they kicked out. And I was so surprised. But it's a very devastating move, and that's why I'm putting it on my number 9, because it ain't as bad as, it ain't as bad to me as other people think. So, my number 8. The choke slam. Now you might be thinking there's a lot of people have done the choke slam. Kane, The Undertaker. Even in the ECW guy named 911. Literally, that's his name, 911. But it's a devastating move because you getting choked out. It can like for science. Like I'm a big science fan. It can literally block you from breathing, and if you get slammed down and knock the breath out of you, and technically break your back. So technically you have two kind of, adversaries to this move, breaking somebody's back and also killing them. Okay, that's my number 8. My number 7. My number 7th one is, if you guys can see right now, the RKO. Now, a lot of people are thinking the RKO, that's not the name. The name is the Diamond Cutter by DDP. Now, DDP did make it, but the RKO is just so widely known as a meme. Like, if you guys haven't seen that one video where he freaking does one on this one dude that was skateboarding, I mean, it was just a funny thing. But it's a deadly move because you can never expect it. I mean, he did it on one, The Miz, and he did not get up. He did not get up one bit. Okay, but my number 6 one. My number 6 one is the Tombstone Piledriver. Tombstone Piledriver is one of the most widely known to be one of the most very, 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 widely known to be one of the most dangerous moves of all time, because if you guys don't know, Owen Hart did it on Stone Cold Steve Austin, but he did it wrong. He, instead of dropping on his knees like the Undertaker does and does the, the X and stick out his tongue and everything like that, he landed right on his bottom and spiked, Stone Cold Steve Austin around the head, which broke his neck or couldn't get back in the ring for a very long time, and ultimately ended his career. But that's it. I mean, it's a very cool move. It's widely known for being one of the most dangerous moves, so that's why I'm putting it at my number 6. My number 5th one is the Superman Punch. Now, you might be saying, the Superman Punch, you're doing this because, you like the Shield. No, I think, yeah, probably that, but it's very, very hard to, it's a boxing move. That's why I'm putting it at my number 5th one, because it's a boxing move, and I heard it can punch somebody out really, really fast. I mean, it's a very devastating move, but, Roman Reigns, he does it very good because he makes it look realistic, and, the person that's helping him makes it look realistic. But it's a very devastating move because if you have brass knuckles or even a knuckle, it comes out of nowhere. It's like the RKO all over again. You could be wrestling somebody, next thing you know, you could be turning around and they can do a Superman punch. I mean, it's out of nowhere. That's why I'm putting it at my number 5. My number 4th one is the curb stomp. Now you might be thinking, oh come on, J.A.M, you could just, it's obvious that you love the shield. I do love the shield, but the curb stomp, you might be thinking it's just a stomp. I mean, it ain't, a lot. The curb stomp is very, 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 very real, and it almost ended a wrestler's career because he got hurt. Now the curb stomp does, is really bad in real life, and it's one of the worst to do on a wrestler because and if you haven't seen another in matches, Seth Rollins, actually, ended somebody's career by doing that. But that's why I'm putting it at my number 4th. My number 3rd one is the flying headbutt. The flying headbutt was created by Harley Race and moved on to Chris Benoit, Dynamite Kid, and also others like Daniel Bryan. But it's banned in WWE. But I'm gonna say this once. It's a dangerous move. It's a very dangerous move because even Harley Race, a lot of people, almost everybody in the whole entire, people of doing the diving headbutt have, a lot of them have gotten hurt. Like, Dynamite Kid is now paralyzed. Harley Race, he retired early because he did it, but it was not really a flying headbutt. It was probably like a falling headbutt because you just fall down. And Chris Benoit, he had brain trauma, and we all know how that went. And and now Daniel Bryan, he's not in a hospital, but he can't wrestle anymore because he has done it. But it's a very devastating move because it's really widely known to be one of the most craziest moves, and that's why I'm putting it on my number 4th. My number 3rd one has to be Old School by The Undertaker, because a man that powerful, a man that is super tall, can freaking just climb on the ropes like that. It's very, very, very cool and very, very wicked to just see. He grabs his hand and walks on the rope and then just comes down and freaking kills the dude. But that's why I'm putting it at my number 3rd. My number 2nd one, the 2nd one. My number 2 one is a very, very weird kind of, because it's widely known to be one of the most dangerous moves of all time. It's called the Burning Hammer. Now the Burning Hammer is where, I think it's like, it's not like the GTS at all. It's more like, you're on the back, on top, and then next thing you know, they fall right down on your head. It's a very, very devastating move, and it's widely known to be one of the most weirdest moves and one of the most creative. And my number 1 finisher of all time in the WWE, which, if you guys might say, this was in the WWE before they banned it, and I have seen it on live television. My number 1 finisher of all time in the WWE or any other corporation, the Canadian Destroyer. Now, the Canadian Destroyer was created in TNA, and this was right before, even, the whole policy that you cannot, get, no more power driver, no more stuff on the head and everything like that. But the Canadian Destroyer is technically a flip power driver. It's a very, 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 very devastating move, and it's one of those moves that you just can't counter. Like, even the creator said, it's not counterable, if you might call it that. It can never be countered. But that's all I have the time for this video, guys, and I'll see all you power driving and high flying people.